Hi, welcome to A Word in Season. There was one car park and two cars. The argument between the drivers was getting louder by the moment the faces were getting redder, but through the loudspeakers was playing tidings of comfort and joy. In the supermarket, a sea of red sticky liquid was spreading out from the toddler whose tantrum had brought down the whole pyramid of bottles, adding embarrassment to the stress of the poor parent, and through the speakers came, "All is calm, all is bright, sleep in heavenly peace." We're in Advent, leading up to Christmas, as you can see, and it's that season where Christmas brings us, for many of us anyway, blessing. For many others it brings challenge. For most of us, probably it brings blessing and challenge, but for all of us, it brings stress. We write in our Christmas cards, "May the peace and joy that came down at Christmas be yours," and we mean it sincerely. But as David Benner points out, that wonderful idea about God is no substitute for direct experience of God, for experiencing that love and peace. I wish I had time to tell you how people have experienced that at our silent retreats at New Norcia, easy for me to say, and our young adult retreat this year. But in every retreat, we step out trusting one promise in Hosea 6:3. Let us press on to know the Lord, for as surely as the dawn, he will come. And he does. We've lived the truth of one of my favourite Richard Rohr quotes. We're already totally in the presence of God. All that's absent is awareness. In times of crisis, away from retreats in my day-to-day life, moments of stress, I have been made powerfully aware of how kind our Father is, like the lost glasses and the lost key. I had to purchase some very expensive glasses, and on the very first day, somewhere between picking up my car from the service centre and driving away, I lost them. They vanished. I searched for hours fruitlessly, driving to the radio station very despondent. I just felt to go back, half thinking it was wishful thinking. I pulled up where I thought I'd been. I stepped out in front of one of many trees, and exactly at my eye line, in a fork in the branch, were my brand new glasses. I knelt on the spot to say, "Thank you, Father." Merle is very systematic. She doesn't lose things. On one occasion, however, she misplaced car keys, and we discovered replacing them was going to cost $300. It was Christmas, and our habit here is to give away an offering to needs in other parts of the world at that time. And I said, "Lord, Toyota don't need this money. I wish we could give it to that need." We asked a couple of close friends to pray. As we arrived home from church, I just had the thought of looking from a slightly different angle to how I'd looked before. As I was about to do that, Merle suggested the very same thing, and of course you've already guessed, put my hand down the side of the seat and onto the keys. And God did promise to be with us in his kindness in times like that, and when we pass through the waters and when we go through the fire. But he also promised never to leave us, to be there in our waking up and our going to sleep, our going out and our coming home. What the Message translation calls our sleeping, eating, going to work and walking around life. See, when that woman walked to the well in Samaria, it was just one more hot, lonely trudge to get water. When Zacchaeus climbed up a tree to see this teacher, how could he have known that he was the reason God was coming to Jericho? For Peter and Andrew and James and John, they were fishing. Matthew was collecting taxes. They just went to work. So the good news is, you don't have to put "Find Jesus" on your already bulging Christmas to-do list. In fact, trying to find God is religion. The good news, the gospel is, he has already come to find you, already come to find me. See, our part is simply make space for his grace. Philip Yancey discovered, prayer walking the mountains around his Colorado home, God will come if there is space. You know, everything from stoplights to waiting for the kettle to boil can be many opportunities to create space for grace. And if you can, when you do, follow the advice we give children for safely crossing the road. Stop, look, listen. Throughout your day, Just keep turning back to Him. In moments of joy, thank Him. In moments of pain, pour it out to Him. When you mess up, confess, don't hide. At one silent retreat, Merle had a significant experience of God's love for her, of the Father's love, and how much He wanted to be with her. And she would tell you now she's surprised how often in the day she finds herself saying, "Oh, thank you, Father." At this latest retreat, she was impressed by John chapter 10, verse 4. He calls His own sheep by name. And she said to the young adults, "The King of glory, the King of kings, knows your name, and He calls you by name." You know, Nathanael, the disciple, wasn't even at work. He was sitting under a fig tree. And on that first occasion, he didn't see Jesus, but Jesus saw him. And in this crazy, stressful Christmas rush, He sees you. He calls you by name. So as you feel the tension rising and the stress building, make a mini moment. Be still and know. You could do that right now. And as you do, I pray you'll discover how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ that surpasses human knowledge and Christmas stress. Thanks for joining us.